This is Adventist World Radio.
Вы слушаете Адвентистское всемирное радио «Голос надежды».
For 25 years, Adventist World Radio has been surrounding the globe with the good news.
Adventist World Radio, the voice of hope.
Guam, tiny tropical island on the western rim of the Pacific. Strategic military center during the Second World War and Vietnam. Now a popular tourist attraction for the Japanese. 1/3 of the island is still taken up with American military installations. But today, a different war is being waged via radio waves. A war with eternity at stake.
I'm Robert Falkenberg, and I'm at Adventist World Radio Asia. This is AWR's flagship. It's broadcasting the voice of hope in 21 languages and faces wonderful opportunities. We hope that soon it will be able to broadcast the Advent message in at least another 25 languages. This facility was built with one specific purpose: to broadcast the three angels' messages to more than 3 billion people throughout Asia. Adventist World Radio Asia began broadcasting on March 6, 1987. Since then, millions of people have heard the gospel message in their own language through the station. Now, I like the view from the top of this station. Why don't we walk over and take a look together? Up here you sense the power of Adventist World Radio Asia. You see the towers. But you also sense the need for this enormous power. The reason is that from here you can look northward just across that horizon, and where the landmass begins, there are 3/5 of the world's population from China, Southeast Asia, India, and those massive countries that have such an enormous task for us. Thus, the need for that power is self-evident. The need of being able to paint the picture of Christ, to present the good news of the gospel. That's the need for Adventist World Radio Asia.
Now, our church has a mission to reach every single person in the world. We have a tremendous challenge because in this part of the world, we have ascertained that less than 6% of the population is Christian. So in order for us to bring hope to people, we must introduce them to Jesus Christ.
The story of Adventist World Radio has been a series of miracles. Adventist World Radio Asia had just started when the transmitters were only generating half the power they needed. An expert told Adventist World Radio that the diagram they had been given was wrong, and the transmitters shouldn't have been working at all. He added, "You have a powerful God on your side." And you know, he was right. At this time, when the transmitters were only at half power, 2 young men in Sumatra, Indonesia, heard Adventist World Radio loud and clear. One of the young men, Zentua, traveled to the Voice of Prophecy Bible School in Jakarta one day, and he announced, "I've come to be baptized." And he really was ready. At the same time, the other young man, Marasati, was attending university in Jakarta, and he also made contact with the Voice of Prophecy. The instructor introduced him to Zentua, and both young men couldn't believe their eyes. They were both from the same hometown. They had both listened to Adventist World Radio, and not knowing what the other was doing, they had both enrolled in the Bible course. Yes, they were baptized together not long after. The first baptisms as a direct result of Adventist World Radio Asia. Before long, 50 people were baptized in their home village, forming the first church established through Adventist World Radio Asia. Now today, Marasati is a pastor in Sumatra sharing the gospel among his own people.
Today, Adventist World Radio has marvelous opportunities. We are fulfilling the dream that we had from the very beginning of what we could do through radio. We are able to add new languages, and as we add those new languages, we are aware of how God is opening the way for us to proclaim the three angels' messages to all the world.
It takes all kinds of talented people for us to accomplish the mission of the church. I appreciate so much the engineers that we have here at AWR Asia. They are skilled, they are talented, and they are just as responsible for the gospel going to the world as the radio speaker.
Student volunteers have made a wonderful contribution to the work of Adventist World Radio Asia. Since 1985, when we began, we've had 4 to 7 students every year, and they come from all over the world, from colleges in North America, in Australia, Korea, Japan, Burma, the Philippines, and it seems to those of us on the staff that they came at just the time we needed their particular skills. Program producers, writers, photographers, engineers, and I think we would all agree that we couldn't do the job without them.
Here in the master control room, these computers are programmed so that it will send the signal through our transmitters to the antenna to the listener.
Can you imagine how much power these transmitters put out? Enough to light up 100 homes.
Don't underestimate the power of radio. It ignores national boundaries. It doesn't need visas or passports. It doesn't need permission. It's there already, ready to be tapped into by millions and millions of people. The miracle of shortwave radio is that it sends the signal into the stratosphere and then reflects it back to Earth thousands of miles away, like an angel speaking from the heavens.
This is Adventist World Radio, KSDA, the voice of hope. And I'm Anjali Devaraj. Today we have a very special guest, Elder Robert Falkenberg, who is the president of the General Conference of the Seventh-day Adventist Church. Welcome to our program, Elder Falkenberg.
Thank you, Anjali. It's nice to be here.
Now, is this your first trip to AWR Asia?
Yes, it's my first visit to Guam and my first visit to Adventist World Radio Asia.
And how are you liking it so far?
Well, it's fantastic. You realize that this installation, all these transmitters and towers and hours of broadcasting, this is the result of the work, the prayer, the sacrifice, the dreams, the commitment of thousands of people who are supporting this operation with their prayers and with their sacrificial commitment. And it's also exciting because it is from here that hundreds of millions of people have the opportunity to hear the good news of salvation all across this part of the world, right here, out of Adventist World Radio Asia.
Our primary target, of course, are those global mission areas, those languages in the world where we have no Adventist presence. And we're attempting to do that with wholesome, Christ-centered programs produced by Seventh-day Adventist program producers.
Right next to the studios is the tape library, which is really the heart of the station. Here, shelves and shelves of Adventist radio programs are stored. Thousands of hours of work have gone into producing these programs, often under extremely difficult conditions. Produced in language such as Arabic, Fujian, Russian, Tagalog, Mandarin, Sinhalese, Cantonese, Vietnamese, Hindi, Tamil, Telugu, Korean, Ilongo, Marathi, Burmese, Indonesian, and Malayalam. They come from radio production centers all over the world, from Australia to India, Cyprus to Indonesia. In some countries, they have to be secretive about their radio production work. You see, Adventist World Radio is a partner with the World Church in broadcasting locally produced programs in local languages, programs that are sensitive to local cultures.
We are all involved in the ministry of Adventist World Radio for one reason and one reason alone. We want people to know that Jesus died for them and that Jesus is coming again. I just wished you could be here at AWR Asia or one of our other broadcast facilities. I wished you could hear the transmitters. I wish you could feel the power as we broadcast to millions of people. Thank you for your love for these people and for your continued support of the aggressive ministry and outreach of Adventist World Radio.
This good news about the kingdom will be preached through all the world for a witness to all mankind.
Chers auditeurs de Radio Mondiale Adventiste, bonjour.